A fight that escalated and turned into a murder-suicide, leaving 2 people without their lives.
What if I told you that a wealthy family's name turned into a symbol of horror overnight? On October 31, 2002, Manfred and Maria von Richthofen were brutally murdered in their own home. The shocking truth: their own daughter, Susan von Richthofen, along with her boyfriend, Daniel Krevenhose, planned the crime for greed and freedom. This case exposed dark secrets behind wealth, privilege, and betrayal. But why did she do it? Let's uncover the chilling truth. Money, power, and privilege. The von Richthofen family was one of Sao Paulo's most respected elite. Manfred von Richthofen, a wealthy engineer, and his wife, Maria, lived in a grand mansion with their 2 children, Susan and Andreas. They had everything: money, status, and influence. But behind the luxury was a dark secret. Susan von Richthofen, born in 1983, was raised with strict discipline. Her parents wanted her to excel, but she felt trapped. Everything changed when she met Daniel Krevenhose, a 21-year-old from a poor background. Her parents strongly disapproved, fearing he was after their wealth. This fueled Susan's anger. She dreamed of a life without rules, without her parents. The 19-year-old girl, once privileged and adored, soon became the mastermind behind a crime that would shock Brazil forever. But how could love and money lead to such horror? The truth was even darker. The dark secret behind wealth. To the world, the von Richthofen family was perfect, rich, powerful, and admired. But behind the walls of their Sao Paulo mansion, things were different. Manfred and Maria von Richthofen had strict rules, expecting Susan, their 19-year-old daughter, to follow their high standards. They disapproved of her relationship with Daniel Krevenhose, seeing him as unworthy. Feeling controlled and angry, Susan started seeing her parents as obstacles. She believed that with them gone, she could be free and inherit their fortune. But instead of running away, she made a terrifying choice. She began plotting their murder. Blinded by greed and love, she convinced Daniel and his brother Christian Krevenhose to help. They planned every detail carefully. No one suspected that behind the family's wealth and respect was a growing storm of betrayal, lies, and murder. The perfect family was about to fall apart in the most brutal way. A love forbidden. When Susan von Richthofen, just 19 years old, fell in love with Daniel Krevenhose, a 21-year-old from a modest background, her parents, Manfred and Maria, were furious. They saw Daniel as a gold digger, someone unworthy of their wealthy daughter. They tried everything to separate them: strict rules, constant monitoring, even threats. But love turned into obsession. The more they pushed Susan away from Daniel, the more she rebelled. She started skipping classes, lying, and sneaking out. She felt trapped, controlled, and desperate. One night, in a moment of anger, Susan voiced a chilling thought. What if her parents were gone? At first, it was just words, but soon, it became a real plan. With Daniel and his brother Christian, she plotted something unthinkable. A love story that should have been about passion and dreams was now fueled by rage and greed. The plan to kill had begun. The murder plot unfolds. By October 2002, Susan von Richthofen had made up her mind. Her parents had to die. She and Daniel Krevenhose carefully planned every detail. To make it look like a robbery, they needed help. Christian Krevenhose, Daniel's 26-year-old brother, joined the plan for a share of the money. On the night of October 31, 2002, Susan calmly left the mansion, pretending to go on a trip. Meanwhile, Daniel and Christian sneaked inside. As Manfred and Maria slept, the brothers attacked. The brutal assault lasted minutes. Both parents were beaten to death with iron bars. Afterward, Susan returned, pretending to be shocked. She played the role of a grieving daughter while police investigated. But small mistakes in their plan would soon expose the horrifying truth. The perfect crime was falling apart, and Susan's dark secret was about to be revealed. Shockwaves through high society. By November 1, 2002, news of the von Richthofen murders spread across Sao Paulo. A wealthy, respected couple, Manfred and Maria, brutally killed in their own home. The city was in shock. How could such a tragedy happen in one of Brazil's most elite families? At first, the police believed it was a robbery. The mansion was ransacked and valuables were missing. But something felt off. There were no signs of forced entry. Suspicion grew when Susan von Richthofen, just 19 years old, showed no real grief. Instead, she went shopping and stayed at a luxury hotel with Daniel Kravenhuis. Investigators soon discovered a chilling truth. Bank records, phone calls, and Daniel's sudden splurges on motorcycles and expensive items led police to one conclusion. This was an inside job. Within days, Susan, Daniel, and Christian Kravenhuis were arrested. The perfect daughter was now a cold-blooded killer. The investigation and twisted truth. As police dug deeper, the truth about the von Richthofen murders unraveled. Susan von Richthofen, once seen as a grieving daughter, became the prime suspect. Detectives noticed her cold, emotionless behavior. How could a 19-year-old girl lose both parents and show no sorrow? The biggest clue came from Daniel Kravenhuis. Just days after the murder, he bought a new motorcycle with cash. His brother, Christian, also made expensive purchases. Suspicious, police interrogated them separately. Under pressure, Christian Kravenhuis, just 26 years old, cracked. He confessed everything. On November 8, 2002, authorities arrested Susan, Daniel, and Christian. The shocking truth emerged. Susan had planned the murder for months, all for money and freedom. The public was horrified. How could a daughter do this? As the trial loomed, all of Brazil waited for justice. The trial and media sensation. In 2006, 4 years after the brutal murders, Susan von Richthofen, Daniel Kravenhuis, and Christian Kravenhuis faced trial. The case became a media circus. Crowds gathered outside the Sao Paulo courthouse, eager to see the rich girl turned murderer. When Susan, now 22 years old, arrived in court, she shocked everyone. Dressed in a fur coat, with blonde hair and a defiant smile, she showed no remorse. Prosecutors revealed shocking details: how she planned the murder, how she tried to fake a robbery, and even the text messages she exchanged with Daniel about the killing. On July 22, 2006, the verdict was announced. Susan von Richthofen was sentenced to 39 years in prison. Daniel and Christian Kravenhuis received 39 and 38 years, respectively. The once privileged daughter had traded her life of luxury for a prison cell. The world had its answer. Greed had destroyed a family. Justice served. On July 22, 2006, the court delivered its final judgment. Susan von Richthofen was sentenced to 39 years and 6 months in prison for masterminding her parents' murder. Her boyfriend, Daniel Kravenhuis, received 39 years, while his brother, Christian Kravenhuis, got 38 years. Justice had been served, but the case still haunted Brazil. For years, Susan remained behind bars, becoming one of Brazil's most infamous criminals. However, in 2015, after serving over a decade, she was granted semi-open prison privileges, allowing her to leave during the day. In 2018, Christian Kravenhuis was also given temporary release, but was later arrested again for a fight involving illegal firearms. The case left a lasting scar on Sao Paulo's high society. A privileged daughter, consumed by greed, had destroyed her own family. It was a chilling reminder that behind wealth and power, darkness can still exist. 5 key takeaways from the case. Greed destroys lives. Susan von Richthofen, born into wealth, let greed consume her. She saw her parents as obstacles, proving that unchecked materialism can lead to horrifying actions. Toxic family dynamics can be dangerous. Strict parenting and disapproval of Susan's relationship fueled her resentment. Open communication in families can prevent deep-seated anger from turning into tragedy. Social class divides create prejudice. Manfred and Maria von Richthofen rejected Daniel Kravenhose because of his lower-class background. This class bias played a role in the deadly outcome. Betrayal can come from within. Susan, their own daughter, was the mastermind. This case showed how betrayal by loved ones can be the most devastating. Appearances can be deceiving. The von Richthofen family seemed perfect, but behind wealth and power, there were hidden tensions. Never judge a family by its luxurious lifestyle. This case serves as a chilling reminder that privilege does not prevent tragedy. It can sometimes fuel it.